Welcome back to session 9 of GED Science Mastery. Good to see you. Evolution ties all of biology together, and the GED expects you to explain it clearly and read the evidence for it. The single most common mistake students make is thinking that animals choose to change. They do not. Once you understand the real four-step logic behind natural selection, these questions become predictable and honestly, even easy. Let's walk through it. Here's the big idea in plain words. Within any population, there is natural variation. Individuals simply differ from one another. When the environment makes some of those differences useful, the individuals who happen to have the helpful trait tend to survive and reproduce more than the others. And because traits are inherited, that helpful trait gets passed down and becomes more common over generations. That slow shift in a population is evolution by natural selection. Notice, the variation comes first. The environment just selects it. Natural selection runs on 4 steps, and they repeat every generation. Step 1. Variation already exists. Mutations in gene mixing create differences before any environment acts. Step 2. A selection pressure appears. More are born than can survive, so there is competition, and some traits help. Step 3. The survivors reproduce, passing their helpful traits to their offspring. Step 4. The helpful trait becomes more common, so the population changes over time. Variation, selection, survival and reproduction, and the trait spreads. 4 steps, every generation. 3 words the GED twists. First, an adaptation is an inherited trait that improves survival or reproduction. Inherited, not learned. Second, fitness. In evolution, fitness does not mean strength or muscle. It means success at surviving and reproducing. A small, well-camouflaged animal can have higher fitness than a big, strong one. Third, and most important, individuals do not evolve. Populations do. One organism cannot evolve during its life. Instead, the mix of traits across the whole population shifts over generations. Let's read real evidence. A hospital tracked bacteria that resist one antibiotic. As the drug was used more and more over 15 years, they recorded the percent of bacteria that survived it. Look at the bars. In the year 2000, only 5% were resistant. By 2005, 20%. By 2010, 45%. And by 2015, 70%. The resistant fraction climbed steeply from 5% all the way up to 70%. In the next step, we will explain exactly why, using natural selection. Let's explain the rising resistance with natural selection. Read. Resistance climbed from 5% to 70% as the antibiotic was used more. Choose. Here's the 4-step story. A few bacteria already carried resistance, that is the variation. The antibiotic killed the non-resistant ones, that is the selection pressure. The resistant survivors reproduced, passing resistance to their offspring, so the resistant fraction grew and grew. That is natural selection happening in real time. Check. I reject the idea that the bacteria chose to become resistant. Individuals do not decide to change. The resistant ones simply survived and multiplied. Let's press on the deepest idea because the GED tests it constantly. An individual organism does not evolve during its lifetime. A single moth does not turn dark because it wants to hide. Instead, some moths were already darker by chance, and when the tree bark was dark, those darker moths survived and reproduced more. Over generations, the population became darker. So always put the variation first and the environment second. The environment selects from variation that is already there. It does not create it on demand. Finally, how do we actually know evolution happens? Several independent lines of evidence. Fossils show how living things changed over long stretches of time. Homologous structures, similar body parts across different species, like the bones in a human arm, a whale flipper, and a bat wing, point to shared ancestors. Shared DNA between species tells the same story. In living examples, like the antibiotic resistance we just saw, let us watch natural selection unfold right now. Together, these make evolution one of the best supported ideas in all of science. Let's lock in the traps. 1. Animals choose to adapt. No. Variation comes first and the environment selects it. 2. Individuals evolve. No. Populations do, over generations. 3. Fitness means strength. No. It means reproductive success. 4. Evolution has a goal. No, it does not. It simply favors whatever helps survival right now. The recap: variation, selection, survival and reproduction, and the trait spreads. If an answer says an organism decided or tried to change, be suspicious. Superb work today. You can now recite the 4 steps of natural selection, explain antibiotic resistance, and avoid the choosing trap. Your practice for this session is the 10 questions attached to this lesson. Answer them from memory, and if any choice says an organism decided or tried to change, be suspicious of it. To read the full lesson notes and practice more GED science questions, visit the course page at www.bridgetoexam.com. I am proud of how you are thinking. I will see you in session 10, where we zoom out to whole ecosystems, food webs, energy pyramids, and nutrient cycles. Keep going. You are doing great.